Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper and I'm here for Altenew, and today I'm going to be making a card using this really fun ice cream set called Way Too Sweet, and it has a matching die set and I'll be using that as well. But what today's video is all about is stretching your stamps, and I wanted a polka dot background and I couldn't find a polka dot sort of stamp that I could use. I thought it'd be fun to use this. It's actually an apple image from the Teacher's Rule set. So what I'm going to be doing is creating my own funky background using this stamp and my MISTI and some Altenew crisp inks. I've set the stamp on the inside of the MISTI, and the first colour I'm going to be using today is Frosty Pink. So I'm keeping in the sort of pastel-y colours today. I thought it'd be fun because I usually do bright, I like bright cards, and I just thought the pastels will be really sweet for this ice cream image. So instead of moving my stamp every time, what I decided to do was actually just move the cardstock, which is one of the great things that you can do with the MISTI. So I'm literally just moving my card around in the MISTI until I'm sort of happy with where I think the stamp's going to be. So I'm doing my second image now in Frosty Pink. And I just love the way that this ink stamps. It is wonderful. So between my stamp colour changes, I do clean my stamp off. I've just been using either baby wipes or a chamois for that. And my second colour is called Sea Glass, which is another really pretty pale ink, and this is a blue colour. So one thing I wanted to mention is that you don't have to have your cardstock inside the MISTI at all times. See how that's hanging out over the edge there? When you press down on the lid of the MISTI, it actually doesn't harm the cardstock at all. It doesn't leave any marks or ridges or anything like that. So that's a good tip if you have or you think about getting a mini MISTI. You can do this on those as well. So my final colour today is another pale colour. This one's called Soft Lilac. It's a really pretty purple. So I'm just going to keep on stamping out my background, mixing up the way the dots are as well as where the colours sit, and making sure that some of the images go right off the edge of the panel. So I've stamped out my ice creams. I did use some Memento Tuxedo Black because I'm Copic colouring them, and I didn't want this to look too neat, so I'm really just laying a bit of colour down over the ice cream cones and over the ice creams themselves. I haven't actually taken a lot of effort in my colouring today. I just wanted that kind of messy look. I did colour one of the ice creams with R11 and I wasn't really happy with that. I wanted more of a pinky tone, so I did change across to that pink. And I do use my colourless blender as well. Sometimes I'll lay down the colourless blender before I add the colour. It just helps me to blend it out when I want to keep it fairly pale, because I don't have any really pale pink colours. So the colourless blender just helps me lift up a bit of the colour. And once they're all done, I just run all these images through my die cutting machine with the matching dies. Don't you just love them? So the sentiment from the set, there's like 3 different main sentiments in the set, and they all fit inside this oval shaped bubble. It's great. So I decided that I wanted the sentiment to be on the panel that's behind the card. So I've die cut the oval from the actual front panel, and now what I'm going to do is I actually stamp out the image onto a spare piece of white cardstock rather than try and line it up on the inside of the card. I find this is easier to do. So I've added some fun foam and tape, and that's some score tape, to the back of the panel, and then what I can do, this is really cheating, to make sure it's nice and straight and exactly where I want it, is I literally just lay this piece with the die cut hole over top of the image and line it up so it's perfectly straight, and then I don't have to worry about stamping on the actual front of my card. But I do make a mistake here. I've actually added the ATG gun and I wasn't quite ready to do that yet because I want some of the ice creams, I'm going to sit them across the front of the card and I want some of them to hang over the edges, so I'm going to need to be able to cut them off. So I just play with the images for a while until I'm sort of happy with how they're sitting on the card front. And once I've got my layout and I'm happy with that, and I've got some 1mm foam tape, and I'm just going to pop up all these ice cream images. I'm just trying to make sure that they're sitting fairly straight on the card so that the actual ice cream is vertical. And then once they're all adhered, I can see how I use the packaging there to save that ATG glue from sticking onto my work surface. I can just turn the whole panel over and flip it over and cut the edges off with my scissors. I like to use a nice long straight pair of scissors for this. And as a final touch, I'm just going to add some Stickles glitter glue. This is the diamond one, so it does pick up, it has some nice sparkle and it picks up some of the other colours that are around it. It's really pretty. I'll just add that to all the tops of the ice creams and my card is done. Thanks for joining me today. I've had heaps of fun. I'm going to be back real soon, so till then, happy paper crafting. Bye.